My name is JapanWW1. I am going to tell about the Japanese involvement in World War I for a class project for my class about the World Wars at Pima College. Japan was an ally of Great Britain. They decided to enter the war against Germany. They also wanted to expand their sphere of influence in China and other parts of Asia. China had leased some coastal territory to Germany, and Japan did not like their influence there. Japan ordered Germany to evacuate Tsingtao in the Shandong province of China, disarm their warships there, and hand over the territory to Japan. On August 25th, Austria-Hungary, Allied Germany declared war on Japan. 2 days later, on August 27th, Japan had taken small islands at the main harbor of Kaohsiung in China, which were being held by Germany. German warships bombarded the troops as they advanced, but they also had to use some of their warships in a battle with a Japanese squadron in the harbor. Japan quickly took control of 3 German-released island groups in the Pacific: the Caroline Islands, the Marshall Islands, and the Mariana Islands. In January 1915, Japan presented 21 demands to China. These demands were basically made to give Japan joint ownership with China of a major mining and metallurgical complex in central China and turn China into a Japan protectorate. The major points of Japan's 21 demands to China were: force China to sign a national defense treaty, place millions of Japanese citizens in power in Inner Mongolia and Manchuria, cede power to Japan over China's coastlands, lease Port Arthur for 99 years, take over German holdings in the province of Shandong, have Japanese appointed in all levels of Chinese government, share power over police bureaus in all provinces, and co-build weapons plants along the Yangtze River. By May, Japan had received international condemnation, so they withdrew their demands and signed treaties with China. Most of Japan's allies were occupied in Europe or the Atlantic, giving time for Japan to expand their empire in the Pacific and Asia alone. In 1916, Japan signed an international agreement with Russia to secure their influence in Manchuria and Inner Mongolia. In 1917, France, Great Britain, and the United States recognized Japan's territorial gains in the Pacific and China. These include China's Shandong province, the Mariana Islands, Caroline Islands, and Marshall Islands, all previously owned by Germany. Great Britain wanted Japan to protect their shipping lines in the Pacific. Japan also helped the war effort in Europe by sending a squadron of destroyers to the Mediterranean Sea to help their allies in their fight in Europe. Japan was able to force a German raiding squadron all the way to the Falkland Islands near South America, where Admiral Craddock of the British fleet destroyed the raiding squadron. They also sent war material to Europe. The total value of these sent to Russia reached $250 million US. In addition, they sent financial loans to Britain and Russia. To Britain, they sent $50 million worth of US, and to Russia, $60 million worth of US. Japan also helped the Allied war effort by transporting Anzac troops from Australia and New Zealand to Europe. Japan also sent money to China called the Nishihara loans that put China deeper in Japan's debt. Now, Tsar Nicholas II was removed from power in Russia. Because of this, Japan decided to invade Siberia. They negotiated with China to send their troops through China and planned to take Siberia to Lake Baikal. 70,000 joined a much smaller AEF Allied Expeditionary Force in 1918 in Russia. The peace treaty with Japan and Germany gave Japan all German holdings in the Pacific and China. Germany's colonies in all of Asia and the Pacific were gone. The raiders had been driven from the Pacific by Japan. 3,000 surviving Germans were sent to Japan as prisoners of war. In 1919, Japan was one of the Big Five powers in the Versailles Peace Conference and was given a permanent seat in the Council of the League of Nations. They had emerged a major actor in international politics at the close of the war. At the end of the war, Japan had 1 million soldiers. Their navy had doubled since the Treaty of Portsmouth after the end of the Russo-Japanese War in 1905. Japan's fleet after the war ended included 21 first and second class cruisers, 30 superb new cruisers, and 20 battleships and battle cruisers, one of the strongest in the entire world. Most people don't know much about Japan's influence in World War I, so I hope that this presentation will be enlightening.